Hey, Michael here. Let's look at a little foraging stuff. Gonna go see what we can find along a trail along Cypress Creek in Cypress, Texas. You know, Cypress is in R-E-S-S, not as in R-U-S. Okay, so first a little context and then get to the plants. Remember, you gotta know your area. So make sure you dig into some foraging, botany, and below that, ecology to know what's going on. Now, if you want to skip this and go to the plants, look in the descriptions, you can see what we're hitting and when. But you should know, what's going on in your area. It's really important. So discuss that a little bit. Ecology is important. History is interesting. We'll look at some of that, brings this stuff to life, lets you know more what's going on, puts you more in contact with the bigger picture of human survival. So, first of all, I'm along Cypress Creek, 1,000-year-old creek, thousands of years. Let's take a look at it in this area right here. All right, so here I am. All right, so that's the general area right now. This part of the creek, I'm not sure if this is Cypress Creek and upstream Little and Big come together, or if this is Big and Little and Cypress come together. I got to get that straight. But along here, okay, so you got to make sure when you're picking stuff, know yourself, know what you can handle. Know the plant, know the ecology, know the land, because some people are allergic to latex, and if you get some wild lettuce, from what I've heard, it's got latex-like compounds in it, similar to latex, and that can affect some people, give them an allergic reaction. Like a lot of other things, some plants are okay for some people or most people, and then some aren't, just like, I don't know, 30-50%, maybe 30% have a severe allergic reaction to poison ivy, maybe 30 to 50% have a moderate, and then 30-50% have no allergic reaction. So that's with people, that one plant. Then different animals can eat poison ivy and it's fine. Birds, deer, they're not allergic to it. And the compound in it is called urushiol, I think, U-R-U-S-H-I-O-L. From what I've heard, it's there to retain water, keep water for the plant. And I don't think it's that in particular that some people are allergic to. It's just other things going on, kind of downstream of it all. But so different animals can eat different things, or toxic to different things. It's same with people. So know the plant and know yourself. Know if it's okay for you. Then some things you want to eat certain amounts of. So when we're going over this, look it up yourself. Don't go out and pick a bunch of stuff. Nature is neither evil and dangerous and scary, nor is it all la and like happy. There's some aspects of it that are good for human survival and some that aren't. So know about that, please. All right, so know about yourself, say what your allergies are, what you can have, what you can't. Know about the plant, what it provides, what it doesn't. Know about the land. Some places, like some old buildings, maybe they had lead paint, so you wouldn't want to eat the plants around the perimeter or close by until some environmental remediation was done to get the lead out of it. You could measure it to see to what degree lead is in the soil in different plants. But there's, from what I'm aware of, you're probably going to have plants with too much lead or something in them. Same thing about maybe an area that was mined. You could have some heavy metal that you don't want in yourself at all or in high quantities. Then of course, like around here or on Cypress Creek, know your area. So the creek 100 years ago, probably would have drunk from it, but now with a lot of people living here, you know, a lot of like stupid stuff people misuse or use too much, you know, herbicides, pesticides, all this stuff, overused, misused, abused, too much crap in the creek. No telling what people dump in it, no telling what's in it. Upstream, around where little and big come together, at least is what I call them, to make Cypress. Water processing plant or something like that, you can smell like the chemicals up there. I don't know what they put into it. So it could be cleaner, you know, wouldn't want to eat anything in it or too close to it. And if it floods, no telling what kind of crap might be washed down. You know, there's some trash out here from people, but most of it's from flooding. And you can find old gas containers or oil containers or like bottles of glyphosate and crap like that. So be careful about that, please. Take care of yourself. And so let me see. So, also near roads. Okay, think about, you know, lead in buildings, water quality, where the stuff is. If you're picking stuff at home, see if you spray, you know, avoid it. Shouldn't have any herbicides, pesticides on the property, otherwise you could take those up. Not good for you. Or near roads. If the county sprayed something near a road and you put too close to a road, you can ingest that. Avoid, please. Avoid that crap. Maybe one day humans will be more advanced and will put biology first instead of chemistry and magic fairy dust and ignoring biology. But right now, that's the way it is. So we got to deal. You know, avoid roads where there could be herbicides, pesticides, stuff like that sprayed. Try to have clean, healthy produce. All right, so that's, you know, some ecological factors to consider. And then when you're out, you know, know what wildlife is in the area, what you gotta watch out for. Get on iNaturalist, and then you can take a lot of pictures of stuff, post it, enjoy it, learn more plants and animals in your area. Learn how it all fits together. You know, plants don't live in isolation. They need soil, worms, nutrients, decayed waste, other plants, fungus, birds, mammals, insects. It all works together. You know, one way some people think about evolution is it has increased the complexity, and so that makes me wonder, maybe, you know, for human life, we've evolved to have this context where there's complexity. So maybe complexity is necessary for optimal human life. And if we take it away, maybe by going to another planet and it's us in isolation, that could destroy us. You know, that remains to be seen. We got to figure that out. But make sure you protect the ecology, you know. Don't kill snakes, please. Snakes kill mice. Mice are the ones that you really need to worry about. Rodents, so hawks, owls, snakes, coyotes, bobcats, they make the environment safe for us. So, you know, don't kill those who help us. Mice, you know, primarily, secondarily, tertiarily, quaternarily, they're the ones that spread disease. Little rodents like that, they spread disease themselves. You know, and then mosquitoes, fleas, ticks, stuff like that spreads disease. You know, feeding on the mice. So please let the snakes and coyotes live and do their job. You know, they're not messing with you. We shouldn't mess with them. We should tell them thanks. Makes a better world. Otherwise, as I say, you know, we'll have a bunch of fun stuff like plague, black plague, Lyme disease, other stuff like that, spread by rodents and insects and all that. You know, not all insects, mosquitoes and stuff. But please be good to that. You know, again, know in the area, know what you gotta watch for. Don't hurt a snake, but don't let one hurt you either. Be very attuned to your environment. Getting out here will help you do that. It's very good for your physical fitness and mental fitness. Helps make you more acutely alert, aware of your environment. Know what's around, what's there, what to look out for. Helps you move more efficiently and smartly through your environment. Good skills to bring into the city and environments with other humans around. Of course, watch out for human predators. All right, so you know, again, know your environment. It's really good too, because you need to know what you got to watch out for, what's in your area, and you know, obey the law. It's against the law in most places to forage in the government property. Some places you can buy maybe a permit, like some parks, you got to get a foraging permit, foraging license, just like a hunting license. So please do that. Don't tear the stuff up. If you tear too much up, it'll be gone. You can't have any more, or other people can't have any more. You know, let's respect ourselves, respect the land. The land's not going to support us any more than we take care of it. Okay, so again, you know, it's a bit about know yourself, know the plant, know the land. Be smart about this. Now, and look the stuff up. I'll go over some plants, but you know, look them up yourself, because it's important to know foraging. Below that is botany, and fundamental to that is the ecology. So learn about the foraging, but you need to learn about botany so you know what plants are similar to the one you're foraging, what to avoid. Some stuff you want to avoid, it's like irrelevant. Some stuff will be toxic. Like for example, you go looking for wild onion. I think some people, when they're just learning, it's probably more of that. They don't know it, so they pick something that's kind of sort of alike, and then they get, what is it? A lily, rain lily, and rain lily is extremely toxic. I don't know about the dose, but you know, you eat it like an onion, then bye, you're toast. So you got to be really careful for some things. So you know what you're looking for and the different qualities of it, and you know, we'll mention some of these in the videos segments coming up. Know color, texture, you know, surface texture, vein pattern, branching pattern of the leaves, stem, bark, if it has it, and outline of the leaf, ridged, straight, serrated, double serrated, whatever. You know the different color patterns and everything. Know where it tends to grow. Shape of the whole plant. Alternate leaf pattern, opposite leaf pattern, things like that. So make sure you know those, and then know what you got to look for that could be similar to it. Make sure you know, ask Dr. Google. You can look on foragingtexas.com. Dr. Mark Meriwether Vorderbruggen is a good website, and Green Dean, D-E-A-N-E, I think it is. And what, unfortunately, another one or two slipped my mind. There's other good ones. Those are just some I know of. Not like they're the only good ones in the world. Plenty of others. But find something that's really good, trustworthy, and look at the different ones. Find different information. Dig into the plants, you know, cognitively, as well as nutritionally and with your fingers. Okay, so dig into it. Make sure you know what's going on. Look for the plant. What compare and contrast it to. What chemicals are in it, so you know what vitamins you're getting, what, you know, if it is something you want to avoid. And then you can really start, it's right away getting into a botany or ecology, or else later. I mean, if you just want to look at the foraging first, do it. But it's a good door into botany and zoology and tracking and ecology, bird watching, because it all integrates. Plants aren't in isolation. It's good to know that their environment, the environment they're in. And then, as I say, it's important to help you get more mentally and physically agile, but it helps you a lot with comparing and contrasting, gives you some good thinking skills. You know, this would be something good for Montessori people to do. You know, you learn a lot of really how to observe firsthand on your own the basis for botany and zoology and science. And so it's a very important thing for people to learn no matter what their age. Really helps in a lot of ways. Okay, now, a little history of the area. So this is an interesting place, just so you know, it's another aspect to doing this. along here, along Cypress Creek, some Native Americans used to live. They would have campsites, but no permanent lodgings. They'd move around, different seasons, different things. That would help them, you know. So of course they had to exercise more, think ahead, do more planning, where we're going to be in the next season. Required more physical labor, more physical work, help people stay in better shape, be healthier. It's like a species appropriate lifestyle. And you know, as you see, when we have houses and people are too sedentary, they have major health problems. Movement is not optional. Physical and mental movement are essential for human survival in a species appropriate way. So Indians used to live along here. They were near here, more east, more towards Louisiana. Were they the Atakapa, I think that's how it's pronounced. And then around here, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, the let's see, Atakapa, Atakisa, I think, A-T-O-K-I-S-A, or A-T-A-K-I-S-A. And then the others, the Atakapa, A-T-A-K-A-P-A. And in this area, you know, you'll see some of the things they were able to forage, a lot of plants, but of course around here, nasty mosquitoes, they had to watch that. I think from what I've read, they would sometimes have to sleep, you know, in this whole area, Galveston, around the Brazos, west of here a bit. They would have to sleep on elevated platforms under which a smoky fire would burn to help drive away the mosquitoes. Learned some of that by reading about Cabeza de Vaca. He was, I think, a Spanish explorer, captured by the Indians. He was shipwrecked. He was in Texas for, I don't know, 2, 5, 10 years. Walked like, I don't know, 2,000 or 4,000 miles barefoot. He was a slave of the Indians for a while, some of them. He was able to establish himself as a medical man, medical healer, so he got better treatment than he otherwise would have, and maybe stayed alive when he might not have. But he, I think, maybe didn't like the Indians at first, Native Americans, and after he was a slave for a while, you know, being around them, seeing what they're like, seeing what they had to deal with, seeing their creativity and all, I guess, he came to respect them, recognized that they were human too. Unfortunately, you know, I wish more people like him would have been in charge of, you know, European and Native American relationships instead of the a-holes who ended up being, you know, like Cabeza de Vaca was in charge in some place. People, I think, accused him of what, treason, so he had to go back to Spain, face trial. I think he was acquitted, but he wasn't able to do much, and you know, there was too many little power lusters who wanted to fight and engage in destruction and taking over other people and slavery, and not, instead of cooperating, you know, they wanted to break agreements instead of keep them. Unfortunately, there was too much of that and not enough of his type. But to learn a lot about this area, you can read books about, like, biographies of him, or get his own account of what happened here. I've heard a few biographies of him and have bought the translated account of being in this area, but I haven't listened to it yet. Got to do that soon. So, but the Akikasa, or Aki, I forget now, jeez. But the Indians Native Americans who lived around here, they had, you know, to eat. I don't know how far north it was. I don't know if they were down here, but there were some bison they could eat certain times of the year, maybe. But then more all year around here, we've got deer in the creek. We've got beaver, river otter making a comeback. Thank goodness. They were like kind of wiped out, but thankfully they're making a comeback here. Remember, it's against the law to kill animals in the wild. No hawks, no birds at all, no owls, no eagles, no animals, against the law. But so in the creek, as I say, Cypress Creek, alligator, nutria, beaver, river otter, and we got mussels, clams. There's like yellow paper shell type of mussel, I think it is, and fragile shell, something like that. Another maybe mussel or clam. And of course, fish. I don't remember the different types of fish in here. That's one thing I need to learn about. A lot of fish in the creek, snakes, you know, so there's other things Indians could have eaten. Deer, thank goodness around this area we got coyote and bobcat still. Thank goodness, it's nice and wild. Okay, as I was saying, phone call came through, I had to decline. We got coyote and bobcat in the area, thank goodness. Remember, they help control mice, very important, and rodents. But I've actually seen some coyote and some bobcat out here. Coon, armadillo, opossum, Cooper's hawk, what is it, red-tailed hawk, red-shouldered hawk out here, I think. Then what, owl, forget some of those species, come out at night only. And then, damn, my memory's like not working on that now, like big owls. But nice wide variety of birds. Oh, and like flickers out here. A lot of birds, a lot of wildlife, deer, mammals, butterflies, sulfur, red admiral, monarch, queen, cloudless sulfur, a lot of others I'm thinking about now. But great deal of wildlife, beautiful area, nice to come out and check on. But a lot of history, as I say. Native Americans will be up and down it around Meyer Park. On about 6.8 acres, I think they dug up places here and there and found a lot of artifacts. It's against a lot to dig up those on public land, by the way, too. Private land, no problem. Public land, wrong. But in the diggings they did at Meyer Park, they found, I don't know, about a few thousand artifacts, but you know, sometimes just pottery fragments and bone fragments and some stuff like that. And then, is it Diamond Knoll, I think? Another place where some people have done some digging around here. K-N-O-L-L, you know, Diamond Knoll, if I remember right. Found some ancient Native American artifacts. But I think there were some, it's thought there were some people around here 8,000 years ago. And then the Akakisa were here roughly 100 AD till 1750, or 100 AD BC maybe, till 1750 AD. You know, having temporary camps along the creek. Nothing permanent, but there'd be some, you know, where they'd be there for a while, moving around. And then of course, you know, with like the wars and pushing Indians onto reservations and stuff, some of these tribes had to be taken into others, and it's not known if some of the tribes are still left. But along this creek also, one thing interesting about it, when General Sam Houston was going to fight Santa Anna in Texas War of Independence, his army marched along the creek. There's a campsite on Huffmeister where the army stayed, and I think they might have crossed, I mean, they might have gone down to the battle on the other side of the creek from where I am. I'm not sure. Kind of haven't found too much about that. It'd be nice to find a map, but I'm not sure about the exact routes. And so going further back, if we look at some of this interesting geography in the area, notice that a lot of sand. Go down here. So it looks like here, if you can see the ridges, I have to go inspect to be sure, but it looks like the way that is, I think that's clay. You can see it's different than the sand. Looks different here. And so that's the Beaumont clay formation, and that's about 250,000 years ago, 250,000 years old. And then on top of that, we got the sand, and this a lot of sand here because this is an alluvial plain, a lot of washout, in the ice ages from erosion, the glaciers from Rocky Mountains. So we get washed down. You had this big, huge, ginormous alluvial plain. And so we got this, really deep sand. Some of this, like, I think in some part, maybe on the Brazos River, I forget which one. I think in one area, people found evidence of sandstorms from about 18,000 years ago. And then I think evidence of humans in North America about 40,000 years ago, maybe, like an early ancestor to humans. And there is a cloudless sulfur, I think, a type of sulfur butterfly anyway. So evidence of humans in North America about 40,000 years ago, early ancestor, and then not much, and then again, like 18,000 years ago maybe. That's when they came over, I think the land bridge, Alaska, and then moved down Canada, North America, Central America, South America. But so because of the alluvial plain erosion from glaciers around the Rocky Mountains, that's why we got so much sand here. Not as old as they say the Beaumont formation of clay. I'll see if I can get over there and take a look and see if that's actually clay, but that'd be about, as I say, from what I've heard, about 250,000 years old. Yes, looks to be clay. You can see right there in the middle, but you can tell difference in texture, erosion. And as has been pointed out to me, the water gets into the sand, then comes down to the hard clay layer. Can't penetrate, or only slowly, and then you'll see it wetter there, running off into the creek. You can look up Buffalo Bayou and find that out. Let's take a look. Be a little slippery down here with the wet sand, but let's give this a try. All right, got some sand dug in, so be all right. Slip here. What else we got? Nice, wild, fractal nature. And Stepping on this. It's kind of hard, as you can tell. Looks like a rock in there, but you got this clay. So, thankfully I was able to get over here and give a closer view. Sand, clay. As you can see, coons like to use this. Get up out of the creek. Pieces broken off. Maybe a geologist can give us more rundown on all this. Some detail. Chemical composition. How it was deposited, age, stuff like that. Alright, back across the road. So there's some history, ecology, biology of the area. Adds more to what's going on. It's just not land, you know. People have been living here for thousands of years, so you can think about that. And yeah, there used to be kind of more recently in history, kind of some there'd be cows kept on the land, and from what I've heard, there used to be more river cane, you know, bamboo, but the cows prefer it, and so it was eaten up. But so there's some ecology, history for you, a lot of things to think about in all this. And we got some deer tracks by some smart weed. Looks like it was facing that way, this was facing that way, so maybe it was chowing down a little bit, but you know, you got a lot of activity. Come up slope here, go up slope there, as you can tell. Crossing the creek, as you can tell, it's a good place to cross. So hope that helped. Looking at some of the plants, learning some foraging, seeing what's out there. You know, as I say, go for the foraging first, learn some tracking, learn to recognize some animal tracks, then get into botany, zoology, ecology if you want. Great thing to do to understand our world, get better nutrition, get yourself outdoors for some fresh air and exercise. As you can tell by what we looked at, hell of a lot more complex, fractal movement, you know, terrain out here requiring more complex movement, much better for your brain and nervous system, and physical fitness. So, you know, great place to exercise too. Get out, walk, do some running, exercise, take advantage of the uneven terrain, different textures, constantly changing throughout the year and through the years, not just the same old thing in the gym. Go for the gym if you love it, yeah. Make sure you get out some to get, you know, real movement too. But hope you enjoyed it, and you got any questions, let me know. But remember, look up things on your own to make sure you can recognize things and you know what's going on. I can make mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes. You know, people who don't make mistakes or claim they don't make mistakes are people you want to avoid. Look this stuff up, know yourself, know the plant, know the land, and think for yourself. Thanks for watching.